Welcome back to Punk Politics, I'm Mae Thompson. First to Westminster, London, England. Centre of time and gravity for the entire universe and beyond. Westminster is a place where things are decided for you, where stories are told. Some of them tall, admittedly, and where heroes are born. Some of them short, admittedly. This has been a week where Cabbage Patch Kid all grown up Mark Francois has played his ace card, where the Prime Minister was seemingly nuked by the Men in Black just before his inquiry appearance.
I can't remember the exact decision-making around that.
I don't recall.
And where a Tory psychodrama that should have been resolved with 15 defections in 2015 blew up in a Prime Minister's face once again. Everyone's like, oh, well, I didn't see that one coming.
Right.
Like, honestly, the Tories are like a married couple that everyone can see they should have called it a day about 8 years ago. But they've stayed together. They're gonna make it work. And now we all have to sit there through their god-awful argument every time there's a get-together. You know, when you're around a terrible couple and you just want to pull them aside, like, all right, listen, you two. Think of me like the opposite of Cupid here, okay? Because you two just need to split up. Yes, I will kill a relationship where love once flourished. Anyway, it's the same with the Tories, except, instead of it being a husband and a wife, it's the moderates and the morons. And frankly, they just need to call it a day. Anyway, maybe we'll get onto that more in a minute. But first, this. Well, that's not right. Let's try it. First, this. Prince Harry was ordered to pay the Mail on Sunday £48,000 this week when a judge ruled the paper could use the honest opinion defence for a December 2022 article in an upcoming libel trial. Harry wanted that defence removed from the whole thing, which could have resolved the case in his favour without the need for a trial next year. But unfortunately for him, the judge went the other way. Anyway, now this relatively minor legal process, this little legal dispute, was reported to have left mouths aghast in Buckingham Palace. Because the last time the terms legal dispute and relatively minor were uttered, the Queen ended up having to write a cheque for 12 million. Meanwhile, in Trumpland, the former US president and America's id said he won't be returning to the stand again in his New York fraud trial. This is the one where he's accused of inflating the value of his assets so he could get loans from Deutsche Bank and pretend he's a billionaire. Which, look, I don't want to go in too hard on old Donny, all right? I mean, that would be a bit hypocritical. Inflating your worth, pretending you're better off than you actually are. I mean, sure, some people will call that tax fraud, but, some of us call that dating. Now, in a crowded field of Trump trials, this is many observers' favourite, because where in the others there's speculation that the former president could go to jail, and in others still we're wondering whether Trump could pardon himself if he's re-elected president. With this one, it's a civil trial, so it's just about money. Like, there's very little ambiguity to this. Like, they've already decided in a pre-trial process that this is all improper. They're only actually doing this trial to decide how improper and whether the Trumps, the family, knew about the overvaluations and how bad their punishment should be. But I think why this one is my favourite Trump trial, personally, is how pinball machine the defences have been. We've gone from he's totally innocent to all billionaires do this, to it's all a Marxist conspiracy, to where we are now, which is no joke. The former president had the right to value his properties however he pleased. It's up to lenders and accountants to make sure that the numbers are right. which is basically like, look, in my defense, I'm a liar, okay? That's what I'm a lying, opportunistic sack of... We all know what I am, okay? So, look, if I write down a number and say my house is worth that much, accountants and lawyers and realtors, they should factor that in. It's not on me to manage my lying and integrity. It's on them to anticipate it. Yeah! Give him a break. Yeah, they should have considered it all, before they filed their paperwork. You're a Harvard-educated accountant and you've managed to factor in federal excise and capital gains, but you never stopped to consider that Donald Trump might be overcompensating? And besides, why shouldn't he just get to write down whatever he likes and have it become reality? I mean, that's basically what the UK government are doing right now with Rwanda. Exclusive! Rwanda is a safe country because I say it is. Now, it's not only Donald Trump who's being hauled over the coals for this. His kids are too. And, interestingly, when viewed through the context of a politics closer to home, each of their responses might sound a little, familiar to you. I mean, if you're a fan of inquiries over here, or Alzheimer's wards. I'm afraid I don't recall. I don't remember off the head. I don't remember. I'm afraid I don't recall.
I can't remember the exact decision making around that.
I don't recall.
Now, obviously, the reason that a bad memory is such a constant character trait of all of these political figures is because they've all got very, very expensive Harvard and Oxbridge educated lawyers whose hundreds of thousands of pounds or dollars in training and tuition fees and research and exams has allowed them to arrive at a point where their expertise can conclude that the bestest, most clever defense that they could muster is... Yeah, you know what you should do? You should just tell them that you don't remember. It'd probably be all right. And obviously the reason that they do that is because if you say, nobody said that to me, or I definitely did not say that, and it later turns out that there's evidence to the contrary, well then you could find yourself in a spot of bother when you're up there taking the stand and you're being cross-examined. If you just say, I don't remember, and then later, then you could just go, well, I said that I didn't remember. You say I did receive that email? Okay, well, yeah, I just don't have any recollection of it. Like I said, I didn't remember, not that it didn't happen, which would be fine. If this were just an argument between a couple that we all wish would hurry up and split up. I'm serious. The opposite of Cupid, right here. But when it's a public servant, a prime minister, and the heads of a New York property conglomerate, well then there's supposed to be minutes, there's supposed to be records and accountability. Like, I don't know how we've got into a situation where I don't remember is an acceptable answer for people in charge of an entire country's public health system or billion-dollar businesses, but it won't fly with your kid's birthday? I'm sorry I forgot, Jordan. Your dad's just had a lot on his plate, I know, Dad. Yeah, could I get another steak over here, and a couple of beers, and a table dance? You have time for another steak? Shouldn't you be at your son's birthday party, John? Oh, I'm sort of celebrating for him, I guess? Jesus Christ, John, you should have just got a dog. I did get a dog. You have a dog? Had a dog. Oh my God. Hey, it's not my fault they sold me a dog. We all know that I'm a piece of... Well, we all know what I am, all right? They should have factored that in before they did the paperwork. But yeah, I don't remember. I don't recall. Appears to be the sort of phrase of the day now, doesn't it? I mean, gone are the days of half-passable ones like back to basics and it's the economy, stupid. The politics of today achieves much by being characterized so perfectly with I don't remember, in capturing a period that millions of us cannot wait to forget. Still, at least Sunak's appearance at the inquiry was scheduled for mid-December. Had it been mid-November, he could have realistically been answering questions with I don't recall, while telling the country to never forget, which would have been just as ridiculous as wearing a symbol for peace while inciting a riot. Anyway, what do you guys make of all of this? Do you think Harry will win his libel trial next year? Do you think the Mail will be pushed by the High Court into bankruptcy? How good would that be if the Mail is bankrupted at the same time as Trump? What do you think is going to happen next to the Tories following this Rwanda vote, following the inquiry? Will they try to install a new leader, or are we headed straight to a GE? As always, let me know in the comments below. Until next time, peace.